Good evening and welcome. Welcome to Fight CPS. Stop taking our children. I'm your host, Bob Pace. And you're probably looking at your clock and you say, oh my goodness, you're late. Yes, I am. I was supposed to be on typically at 7 p.m., but unfortunately, I had a family commitment and so I couldn't make it at 7. So I'm coming on here at 9. But I've not forgotten you all. I've been on here twice a day, 7 days a week. That's 14 live streams. I've been doing this for 19 months since October 2023. And I'm here to help you with what I call the Child Protection System, CPS. Your case involves maybe a very bad rogue CPS. Not all CPS are bad, but maybe you've encountered one. I did. I'm also a victim of CPS. My family are very bad victims of CPS. Let me tell you, they are bad, they're corrupt, they lie, they're not transparent, they will retaliate, and they do not care about family, they don't care about elders or seniors or parents, and they don't care about children. Now, our children were stolen and trafficked into foster care. They did receive abuse, and my son has received some mental issues because of it. And that's really kind of sad because we were discussing the other day about what foster care does to individuals. It is best to keep families together and keep the children in place. But if they're not safe, then yes, you do have to take the children from the family members. But studies have shown the best parents, the best people to raise children are biological parents. Now, if they have a hiccup or they did something wrong, that behavior can be corrected. And the family can be going back in there. But the problem is that there's too many corrupt CPS. You don't know who's bad, who's good. And so I'm here to help you, while you're in the woods. Because in the woods, it's really, really, really hard to see through the trees. They're so thick. Because that's what is about CPS. It's so woody that you cannot experience it. And so it is hard. I know what you're all going through, and I'm here to help you in this room, to help you and to answer your questions and your concerns. Now, hello, Daniel Watt from Georgia. I'm so glad the other day you told me that you got your son back, your special needs son. Daniel Watt used to be my co-host from Georgia. And she says, good to see you. I agree. Look at all the hearts. That's great. And Akima Richardson. That's KK from Brooklyn, New York. Hello, Akima. And how is your show on Wednesday night? How are your shows doing? And then we have Jan Swam. You are speaking the truth. Well, thank you, Jan Swam, because I know what you guys are going through. I already know it. I've been fighting for 15 years, and I've seen the writing on the wall. And I'm so glad that you're in here, Danielle. Yes, all good to see him again. I hope maybe you can talk. And Daniel says, hi, KK. And, well, Bob, there was a finding for the fact-finding trial. They found me guilty of neglect. Oh, my goodness, KK. I can't believe that you're guilty of neglect. Bob, my show is on Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I know. I talk about your show to other people on here. For all your listeners, Akima has been coming to my show for a long time, and she's from Brooklyn, New York. She's also went to law school and got her background in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. But she had an attorney, and I don't know how she became accused of neglect. I really don't know. And I know Daniel is shocked as I am. Hello, Betty Jo from Montana. Betty Jo is a foster mom, and she is very sweet foster mom. For the backdrop, it gets too dark here. Thank you. I'm so glad that you joined me tonight, Betty Jo. And KK has some sad news. They found her neglect. And of course, Akima says, hi, Daniel. Hi, Betty Jo. And you guys all know each other. And it's good that I have these regular people on here, Akima and Danielle and Betty Joe and Danielle. That's really great. And we have a person tonight who's been on my show, I think before, Jan Swan. And I'm glad to have you. I have no idea where you're from. Betty Joe is from Montana. KK is from New York. Daniel's from Georgia. But Jan Swan, SWAIM, I have no idea where you're from. And anyway, I'm so glad. And KK, can you fill us out on the details of how they fact finding that you're guilty of neglect? And what kind of neglect are you guilty of? It's just hard to believe that. KK is a very warm and sweet lady, and she really cares about people out there, and she's also a fighter for CPS. I think they're doing nothing but revenge things on her. I bet that's what they're doing. Now, for some of you that have not been on my live stream before, let me go over a couple things. To make a comment by texting a message, all you have to do is make it a comment or a question, and it should be pertaining to CPS. Please state your first name, your city or county, your state, and of course, if you're from outside the United States, your country. Also, please tell me about your CPS case from beginning to where you're at. Now, I mentioned country. I have 23 countries so far I've talked to. The newest country is Republic of Congo. And one of those 23 countries is the United States, and I've talked to someone from every state of the Union. I've even talked to someone from the District of Columbia. And let me make no mistake, it is a very difficult thing you're going through, and I feel for you. A lot of the CPS cases are bad. They take your children when they're not supposed to. They create fear, and they want to keep families separated. It's so bad what they do, the ones that are bad. It is so bad. They should be helping you with things that you need, like food and shelter and clothing and medical and transportation. You know, even offer you a job. That's what social service does, and so does the child protection system should do the same. Now, there's so many names. I'm not going to sit here and talk about each one. Whether you're the Department of Children and Family Service in LA County, California, or you at Prescott, Arizona, Department of Children's Services, or back to California, Orange County Child Protection Services, or at Kentucky with the cabinet. Whatever the name is all I call Child Protection System. CPS is abbreviated. That's all you have to hear. So every government entity has the CPS. And it was mandated by law in 1962 that social services would create a group of social workers, trained and educated, and create a child protection service. And so that's how it got originated in 62. It wasn't to 74 that it got something there. Oh, great. We got KK. Hello, KK. Hey, I'm so glad you're still alive. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was just like a lot to text, so I figured I'd call in and give you like 5 or 10 minutes to bring you up to speed.
Okay.
So we went to court April 30th, and it was basically to get the decision for the fact finding, and it was the time that we had was only 30 minutes, and during that time, the foster parent was present. Now, everybody should have been present in the courtroom, physically. But for some reason, I was the only person physically in the courtroom. And although everybody was on like a computer screen for like a Zoom, everybody that was on that Zoom screen, with the exception of the court clerk and the judge, were in the courthouse, Bob. My mom was with the foster parent. My 12-year-old daughter, my ex-husband, who was just apprehended for violating the orders of protection back in January for myself and my children. But yet, they found me guilty of neglect based on there being a shortage worldwide a psychotropic medication, and because I did not get a substitute or something else to satisfy my original mental health medication regimen and for my children as well, even though it was worldwide, it was hearsay, according to the judge, and it was not honored. So technically, I was not medicated properly for my mental health diagnosis, and neither were my children. So I was bound to provide inadequate supervision and inadequate medical care based on my mental illness.
Now, question: who determined you had a medical illness?
Well, because in my previous, this is my fourth case. So in the previous cases, it stated that I had mental health issues, medical issues, and substance abuse issues.
And who determined you had, in your past cases, medical health issues?
Psychiatrist.
And who is the psychiatrist working for?
The psychiatrist was my psychiatrist, but I did provide a compliance letter to show that they were trying to say, I was mentally unstable before they knew I had a diagnosis. So to, basically to confirm, yes, there is a mental health, diagnosis, but that does not make me unfit. Based on what my psychiatrist and therapist provide bi-weekly to my attorney, and, when my attorney forwards these things during court proceedings, it always states that I am in compliance with the treatment plan, the medication regimen, whatever it may be, and whatever is available to me at that time. I am not a danger to myself or anybody else, and I am identifying the triggers and the roots for the causes of this possible instability.
Well, I'm still confused how they can determine all this. I mean, did you have your own psychiatrist state in court?
I've been in mental health treatment since I was 13 years of age, yes.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. And what does that treatment do to you?
It basically helps me minimize the erratic behavior I may have sometimes when I am in a mania.
Does that mean the behavior towards your children, or what? What does it mean?
Does that mean what? I didn't hear you, Bob. What do you mean? Does that mean what?
Does it mean, how does it relate to your children? Will your children have mental health issues too?
Yes, my children do. And they are also in mental health services, and they were prescribed psychotropic medication as well. And because these services were initiated 2.5 years, Bob, prior to any removal, based on me being proactive and getting them the resources and support to cope with their mental illness. That's why I don't understand if I have no control over a worldwide shortage such as Adderall, such as the methylphenidate, such as the...
Well, did anyone medically say you're not fit as a parent to handle your children? Did anyone ever say that?
No, not even my...
So then how would you be charged negligent? Didn't CPS have some type of a doctor say that you're unfit to take care of your children?
Not at all, Bob. This is coming from my ex-husband, the prior social workers, because the original CPS worker that, was first assigned almost 12 years ago when my initial case opened, she became the director over time, and then they assigned that agency to me again, and now she's in a place of authority. So, almost 12 years ago, there was a physical altercation with myself and that worker, who was now, up until November 1st, in administration. So there was a personal bias. I asked for a change of agency. I asked for a change of venue. I asked for a change of county. And I was, not even acknowledged. And being that I had to recuse 3 different attorneys, for public defenders until I could gain, retained counsel, it took a while because the Marsden hearings weren't on the calendar for a long time.
Right. I need to say goodbye to Betty Joe. She left. She had a long day. She always has a long day, and I know that she works there.
Yeah,
But
she's probably going to fill you in. I was just talking to her right before you came on.
yeah. So anyway,
And
she
she's
said
trying to
good
get
night.
Junkrat back.
She said good night. And Daniel said night night, Betty Joe. We have a new person,
Good night,
Candy.
Betty.
Yeah, Candy Kane. Good evening, Candy. We're here listening to KK Richardson say some disastrous news that she now has been charged with neglect. Now, what is the plan? What's the treatment plan that CPS wants you to do?
Well, the things that were outlined on the disposition after the after the decision was given, I am already compliant with Bob, such as, be involved in mental health treatment, which I am. Be medication compliant, which I am. Go to family didactic services if the children's clinicians are in, agreement, which they are. I've got those documents from both my children's therapists and psychiatrists stating family therapy would definitely be beneficial. But I've also been asking for this same family therapy for 22 months, Bob. So I've done all that, and then the straw that broke the camel's back is that they want me to sign a HIPAA release. And we have already established, when my attorney objected to that in the beginning, there was no jurisdiction for them to even try to put that down on another petition or another motion for any reason. So once my attorney objected to it, that was the end of that. It's just, I don't understand. And now, they're trying to put in a TPR. The next court hearing is July 17th.
Wait. How can they have a termination of your parental rights? Just because you may have a mental health issue does not mean you're unfit for children. You just told me nobody's come forward that says because of your condition, you can't take care of your children. So the TPR is too new. It's too soon.
No, you know what they've done, Bob? They've severed all communication since April 23rd of last year. So technically, I have not been in communication with the children for over a year. That right there could TPR me based on abandonment.
Yeah, but is that your choice to be terminated?
No, it's not my choice, but based on my children not wanting to see me because there have been brainwashing and custodial interference going on. My daughter, my daughter, who is now 12 years old, she wrote a letter stating that I make her have nightmares and, I need to get help.
See, I have a hard time with people that talk to me intelligently, that speak intelligently, that are very intelligent, believing there's something wrong with you, KK.
Right.
Now, you've been on my show numerous times, and I'm certainly a good judge of character in people. I know when people, but you've not exhibited anything to me that you not be able to take care of your children. What is sad is children sometimes want to, I don't know, they want to for their own reason. They think it's a better life on the other side of the street or something, or on the other side of the tunnel.
You know what they said, Bob? Based on me having combative or aggressive interactions with city workers or clinicians when I don't get my way. Or I'm traumatizing the children by incessantly calling in reports and calling in wellness checks. When the judge had already established, Bob, it was only twice. One, when my child was sent to school in active crisis hearing auditory hallucinations with sleep deprivation. And once when when I got information from a school employee who was also my friend that told me my child's eye might be infected, and I got penalized for calling in a report for medical neglect.
Wow.
To the point where the judge even said, although and she wrote the order said Ms. Richardson is to be in, collateral or present for doctor's visits. these people don't call me and tell me when these visits are for these clinicians. So when I catch wind of it, yes, I get infuriated because it's like, this is what you guys wrote down on paper, on email, on, after meeting summaries. And then for the judge to say, well, yeah, I know I wrote that order, but because you're not getting updates on appointments, that does not initiate a call for a report. It initiates a call to your attorney. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's a violation of court order. That's a consent.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Like I said, Bob, anything that could happen negatively is happening because even with my legal knowledge, with me looking at case law for this state, they have violated my due process. Mr. Davis has said that on many occasions. They have violated my civil rights. They have violated my medical rights. They have violated my parental rights. And they have violated everything about being a person that is covered in the Constitution.
Your constitutional
and then
rights.
They use my knowledge to penalize me for being smart based on my history of aggression. Because I'm not that person anymore, they try to poke the bear.
What is the biological father want in all this? What does he want?
And that's, I don't know, because the thing is, both my children have different fathers. And my ex-husband, who is the presumed father, just because I said that, and they said they can't believe anything I say, but when I said that was her father, they believe that. But there's no parentage established, no acknowledgement of paternity, no order of affiliation, no DNA, no surname parentage, and she does not, retain his last name. So just because I said he was her father, that's what y'all going by, but y'all don't believe anything else. I also said he was evading the law on a murder charge and violations of an order of protection 8 times. You guys they thought I was lying about that.
Yeah.
Until he was apprehended. The DA came forward.
Yeah.
They're even giving him access as far as right now. They're giving him supervised electronic communication because the children want to talk to him. But he has an order of protection, and that is not subsequent to family court.
Well, I understand why the children don't see through him that he's bad for them.
Oh, because this is my fault, because everybody has told them, based on my past drug history, they don't want to get removed out of a good foster home when people don't like me.
But are they really? Who are the children seeing?
Well, right now, to my knowledge, I just found out my mother has been speaking to the children when she initially never wanted anything to do with them. That's why they didn't go to her when they always go to her. This is the first time. And the reason why she said she did not reach out to the children was because CPS told her I would sue. But if I was going to sue, what would make you think I wouldn't sue now if they gave you access and you have no standing?
Wow.
They took my children out of state using that prudent parent standard when it does not apply because my rights are intact.
Now, where did they take him when they took him out of state?
So they took him to Georgia, where I'd asked them to do an emergency ICPC because my sister lives down there, who is the maternal aunt, who was also the original first foster parent 12 years ago, who is also a licensed county sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a blood relative. The person they're with, although my children call this woman grandma, she is not a blood relative, she's not a family member, she's not even my freaking friend, Bob. She is a problem, and she is not conducive to reunification because this woman picks and chooses when she wants to implement kinship, authority, and she is not that.
Yes.
She has put my kids on social media. She has pierced my children's ears. She has cut their hair. She has enrolled them in activities that require my authorization. She has restricted access to certain school documents that she has no right to even give any authority, consent, or input. Regardless of where my children live, my rights are intact. She has never been to any IEP special needs meetings until the most recent one, which was the day before court.
Okay.
And because this is a new district, a new school for my new sixth grader, they had no knowledge of what was going on. CPS reached out to them to let them know that I may call and harass them if I don't get my way.
Yes.
So, Bob, like I said, we go back to court. They're going to try to terminate my rights. And, my attorney is just now coming back off maternity leave. She left January 6th, and she just will be returning June 1st.
Okay.
So we'll be preparing then. But I got my 3-ring binder, like you said, and I got all my proof, all my pictures. I got flash drives with video that corroborate with the documentation. I got post-its next to inconsistencies on the service log. I'm ready.
Now, I want to say hello to a couple new people that have come into the room here. I'm not trying to cut you off. Candy Kane has been in here. No, not hang up yet. She just said, good evening, Bob.
Oh, okay.
Then Wishful Television, I have no idea who that person is. That may be a new person. Says, hi, I want to call in. You can call in a few minutes if KK gets done here. And then Candy Kane says, further, right, I know, not yet. Candy Kane said, I was charged with neglect as well over false accusations of drug use. They have to, they love to accuse parents of neglect when they have no real evidence of anything. Now, Wishful Television, I've watched a couple of times. Good. Where are you from, Wishful Television? Can you tell me where you're located? Are you somewhere in the United States or where? Where are you from? So what is your plan now for this TPR hearing?
Like I was telling you, I'm getting all my evidence ready. I put in
well, you'll have to, you'll have to fight it because it's definitely, you don't want to lose your rights. And it sounds like there's...
Oh, absolutely. But if that happens, I will appeal, and I have already
put
in, some petitions for civil suits.
Right. Okay. Well, Wishful Television, she's from North Carolina. Cumberland is the county she's in.
Well, I'm going to sign off by
right.
Candy Cane. Reach out to me if you want to be a guest on my show or get any information. You're in Georgia.
Yeah.
So Bob can pass the information around.
I can pass you guys around because basically what I do is have people text me their phone number and then I do a swap behind the scenes so no one can see the numbers. So Candy Cane, KK, would love to have you on the show. And thank you, KK, for calling me in. And I want you to keep fighting and don't give up. All right, Wishful Television, you can call in now. Let me put my phone number up so that she knows how to call in here. Let me get the phone number. Okay, here's my number here, Wishful Thinking. Please call me now, and you take care, and God bless you, KK. Okay, that was KK Richardson, Brooklyn, New York, and she has a show on at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And she does the similar things that I do. She tries to help people with bad cases of CPS, the Child Protection System. Now, we have this person here, Wishful Television. I hope that she'll have a better name than Wishful, but if Wishful would call in and share me your story or ask me a question, that's all I ask you is ask me a question or share a story. Because I love to have people talk on my show because after a while, it's very boring to hear me talk on and on about the same things. Because I've been doing this now for 19 months, and that's a long time. That's a long time. So we're waiting for Wishful Television from Cumberland County, North Carolina. So you're another person. There's a girl named Cook who's from North Carolina, and I have another person from South Carolina. So it's nice to hear from all of you. Here she goes. Okay, Fayetteville. Okay, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Okay, welcome. This is Bob Pace with the live stream, Fight CPS.
Yes, I have a better name.
Okay, that is so much better because I always ask, your first name. What name can I call you?
You can call me Kalia.
Okay, Kalia, and I'm so glad to meet you, Kalia. And you say you're from North Carolina too, from Cumberland County. Is that where near Raleigh? Okay, Raleigh's the state capital there. Are you near Hatteras?
No.
Oh, that's where I'm familiar with. See, I'm a beach person, so I have to be always by the beach or my gills dry up. But I've been all through Buxton and all small towns of of North Carolina. I've been down through there and all the way down to Myrtle Beach to south to Florida. So all the coast I've been around, not only in the United States but around the world. So I'm well familiar with the coast, but I'm not familiar with Cumberland County. But I'm so glad you called in. Would you like to ask a question or tell a story?
I kind of want to do a little bit of both.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
I have a story of my own. But I'm gonna, just keep it short and simple. But I'm gonna give you all this.
Okay. Well, I got a half an hour, so you got plenty of time.
Okay. Okay. So, I'll just go through kind of like a timeline here.
Okay.
Just a short little small timeline. Okay, so about 2018, I had my first case with DSS. It was based off a positive marijuana test, and I had my son prematurely. He's about, I want to say he's about 6. I haven't had any contact with him, so it's kind of hard to keep
When
up
was
with
your
it.
son taken away? How old was he?
He's about 6 now.
No,
So
how
it's
old was he when he was taken away from you?
oh, he was taken away from me pretty much at birth. For some reason,
Why did they want
um,
to take a child
and
away from your birth? What did they charge you with? Because you
right,
smoked marijuana?
he was and right, and he was only underweight. It was nothing else wrong with him.
Did he
The
test
only
for
thing that I had
Did
in
he
my
test for
system were
traces of marijuana?
yes, sir, he did.
And did he have any traces of
Um,
marijuana?
Yes, he did, but it wasn't anything large. They said it wouldn't affect him.
Okay.
They kept him as a premature baby in the NICU for about 2 weeks. After
Okay.
those 2 weeks, he was released to a foster family.
Oh
My
boy.
case only lasted with him. Right, my case only lasted with him. I was still able to come, to doctor's visits, in which I did. Anytime that I,
Did he have any
had to get
chance to bond with you at all? Does he know you're his mother?
no, sir.
Oh.
His father, his father does not allow me to see him. He's like really bitter. He told me I already have 2 children, so he said I might as well let him have that one. And once the SS got involved, he felt like that was the opening right there.
Now wait a second. Were you guys
However,
husband and wife, or you just girlfriend boyfriend? What were you to each other?
no, yeah, we were dating for about 2 years before I had my son.
Mm-hmm.
So about 2 years, and
Well,
then
what about the other
I got
children? Where's the
pregnant
story on the
when
other
I got
children?
pregnant.
What about the other
Okay,
children?
so the story. Okay, so the case got closed. The case got closed with my son in 2018 after 6 months. It
Okay.
got closed. He doesn't see his siblings or me. Like I said, he doesn't know anybody from my side of the family.
Okay.
That same year, I believe that same court day, they closed it. They opened another case involving my oldest 2 children, who were already 3 and 5 at that time. My son had a upcoming birthday, but the court case had, begun by then. They didn't have anything in their system. There was nothing wrong with my home. I lived with my mother at the time, who was a retired vet. She's always stayed in nice homes, adequate homes.
Mm-hmm.
I get food stamps for the children, so it was never a problem there. It was a lot of allegation surrounding like me and my mother's relationship, and just he say and she say, and things being said in court, like our emails that we were emailing to DSS. No threats or anything was made, but they didn't like the fact that we were calling them evil. And they said this in court that, we can't go back and forth with them because, that's not the way it works. But another judge told me that it could possibly be a lawsuit. And after that, we never seen that judge again. They took her off our case. In 2020, she was going to, 2020, she was going to close the case. After that, after she expressed that it was nothing that, like Exhibit 1, they didn't have any of that about the kids being, I guess, in an unsafe home or anything about the home being dangerous or anything. They didn't have anything but allegations and feelings towards us, like feeling like we were going to take the kids out of state, feeling like we were going to be combative. It was just all based on feeling. It was never any factual. I also had completed everything. I still have my certificates to this day. I still have my parental rights to this day. They ultimately closed my kids' case, my oldest two kids' case, in 2020. 2022. They closed it in 2022. And we haven't seen the kids. We haven't heard them. They ruled that even though I did some of my, I did my programs and classes and everything, that it still wasn't enough. I had housing at that time as well. That's documented in my transcripts, everything. I had a job. No, I didn't have a job. I was looking for a job. And I completed everything on the list that they asked me to and provided documentation and such. And even though they asked my children where they wanted to stay, if they wanted to stay with my son's grandmother, which is his dad's mother. So they stay with my child's father's mother right now, who ultimately had a DSS case of her own about 10 years ago, which she did not, that made her ineligible. So what they said, ineligible to get the kids, because she had one prior to her own children, and it did not go well. So I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous at some things.
Oh, you're doing fine. You're fine, and you're doing a really great job, and everybody's listening to you. I noticed that we have a new person called Olga Cherry Kavanova, and she's from North Carolina. So we have 4 people tonight from North Carolina. I know there's another person out there, the cook, and she's from North Carolina. So I've had a lot of people from North Carolina. Now, Candy Cane says, I would love to be on her show. And you can be on KK Richardson show. All you have to do is contact her, or you can call in to her number and she'll put you on. And you can talk on the phone, Candy Cane. And I love for you to be on my show too. It's always good. But anyway, we have Wishful Television, whose name is Cassandra, right?
Kalia.
Kalia.
That is my mother's name, though.
Oh, okay. Kalia, who is wishful thinking. Kalia is sharing her story about a very abusive husband and how her child was taken from her. It's really tough. It really is to go through this. So where are you at now on your case?
Okay, so ultimately, because they had opened another case for my oldest two children in 2018, they closed it in 2022. They gave guardianship to for my oldest son, and then they gave custodianship to my oldest daughter. So they separated the two. But they left them together, but they separated like their ultimate ruling.
Okay. Oh boy.
And it's a very sticky situation. So now I'm just kind of at a loss as what I should do, because even though I went through the proper steps to get them back, and our home was evaluated for the children to come back, and it was no findings then. We've had investigations and everything, and they still haven't done anything to get. They said they don't. They said my family doesn't qualify for the for the kids to be in their care, but they never did any like anything that would qualify for any requirements they would have to go through to place my children with them. So ultimately, my oldest two and my other son, he does not. They do not have any like contact or visitation with us.
Okay.
And I'm just at a loss because I know that they're supposed to go through proper proceedings to reunify the children, especially in the beginning of the case, and just throwing children onto a case that had no marijuana, wasn't involved in the case at all, to close one and then open one just to watch the children, so they said, it's like inhumane to me also. Because my rights are being violated here by the 14th Amendment, and it's getting pretty, getting pretty scarce, because now I already knew what the conditions were going to be once the children were placed in that person's care. I knew they weren't going to, be able to care for the children, and I have evidence that the children, don't see fit living there. It's not upkept. The cleanliness is not there. They sleep on air mattresses because they've been sleeping on air mattresses for 3 years. Not enough clothes and things of that such. I had one meeting with them, but then DSS immediately cut it off. Said that I was not allowed to see the children or talk to the children, and even threatened the guardian, saying that she will be arrested if they were able to contact me with the children again.
Oh, wow. That is hard to swallow.
Yeah.
And I feel for you.
I haven't swallowed it.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Mm-hmm. I'm just so much lost.
Do you have a lot of family members that can help you?
Yeah, for sure. And they've all came to, we've never missed a court date. My brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews would be there, and they, didn't pretty much care. And, the kids kind of wasn't old enough to speak up on their own, so they couldn't bring them into the courtroom at their young ages. They have a policy about, what age can come into the courtroom now. So now that my kids are older, I'm thinking if I file something and get them to, speak on their own behalf, of wanting to be reunified with me, that would probably help. Because they weren't able to speak up for themselves. Even when my daughter and my son said, they'll go to the house and talk to the kids, even when they told them that they would ultimately like to stay in my care, because they were in my care from the moment I had them till the moment they removed them. They tried to put my oldest two in foster care before, but the court order deemed them to bring them back the same day. They brought them back the same day within 3 hours. I kid you not. Brought them back because it was a court order and it was no purpose of being removed. So they brought them back, and they were out of my care by the next 2 years.
I see.
So now they didn't care about it. They said,
Well, do you have an attorney that is helping you?
No, I can't find one because they want a lot of money for hour and travel. Like, nobody here in Cumberland County wants to work with anybody in Cumberland County. Like, some attorneys left Cumberland County, like they told us this themselves. They left Cumberland County because it's corrupt, and especially the family law is very sticky, so they didn't want to come back, and some were too high for travel and, just to get them all the way here. And most were asking for too much for a consultation. So it's been very, very hard. And some would say they have probable cause for taking your children because you had marijuana in your system. But I've been looking at the law for a very long time, and there's certain procedures and responsibilities you have to abide by. It's not being done, or it has not been done, and it's just a lot. So I don't have any representation right now. I currently am still looking again, because I was just gonna try to do everything by myself, but it's a lot to do by myself.
Well, I got some good news for you. By you talking on my live stream here, you're eligible to speak to a real attorney. His name is Vincent W. Davis, and you can talk to him for free in a private Zoom consultation for 15 minutes. And you just make a list of questions and prioritize them. Would you like that?
That would be great.
I mean, you're going to talk to one of the top. Yeah, you're going to be talking to one of the top attorneys in the country. And he goes all over. But yes, he is expensive. Like I was talking about, a couple wanted to quote about their case in Georgia, and he quoted 125,000 retainer. But a lot of that is per diem, meaning he's got to fly, he's got ground transportation, hotel, and food. Those are the four things he's got in per diem. That, you know, when he goes, because he's in Arcadia. So for instance, LA County, he's a $5,000 retainer. He's $500 an hour. But now you're going to get to speak to him for free for 15 minutes in a private consultation. He's not a clock watcher, so he'll give you a good 15 minutes. And all you do is you make your questions, your legal questions, and he'll answer them.
Okay.
And you just prioritize them. But he will help you set what you need to do to get your children back. And I wish I knew that. I wish I knew him back when I had my case, because what I know now, I would never have had my kids trafficked into foster care or stolen from me. My family would never have to go through what we went through. But anyway, it's an opportunity. Now to do this, all you have to do is the same number you called in, you text me a message. Very simple, 3 words. Your full name, your email, and your phone number. And when you send that to me, I will contact my show producer, Grace, who will then set you up with a private Zoom. It takes about a week for them to channel it in. But then you will have a chance to talk to a real attorney who's trained in the area of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Court-appointed attorneys or attorneys for free don't work. They really don't, because this is a hard specialty. It's like open heart surgery. You need a real good attorney to fight CPS, because they are corrupt and they'll ruin so many things with you. So I want to offer that to you, and all you have to do at the conclusion of our phone call is text me those 3 things, and I'll set you up with my show producer, who in turn will get you set up with Vincent Davis.
Okay, thank you so much. I would really appreciate that. That is so much.
Yeah, I just know what you're going through, and it really is hard for me, because I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this now for 19 months. That's a pretty long time. And 14 times a week and twice a day, I'm on here. And I like to help everybody. And I know that Candy Kane and Olga and who else here? We had Danielle, and we had Betty Jo. We had KK Richardson from New York. I have a lot of people that come in here twice a day with me, and they all like to check in and say hello and so forth. And so they're good people that come on here. We had somebody new, Joan Swain. I don't know her, but she was new and stuff. And so anyway, we had CKK. Yeah, I just looked at all the people that I had here. So at any time, did CPS kind of make promises? If you sign this plan, this will happen or that will happen? Did they try to do that kind of? That's typically their MO. They'll do that to get you signed. Anytime you want to see something, if you don't like it, strike it out. Initial it and strike it out. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. You don't have to sign anything, and you certainly don't want to talk to, because everything you do will be used against you. And that's the sad part. And they don't, just because they have the police there, the police is for their protection. But the child protection system, we use them to to give fear and do things stupid because they're not supposed to do that.
Right.
So it is hard. I know what you're going through because you want to do what's right and you want your children. And I don't know in that particular area where you live, in 2018, if smoking marijuana was legal or not.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
It wasn't.
Yeah. So what they're
Yeah.
saying there with drugs, illegal drugs, you don't want to smoke or do them with your children around because if they do happen to
Yeah,
take
see, I
the
didn't do it
drugs,
with them around. Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't do it with those two around.
right.
But they did find it in my system once I had my
Well,
son on
yeah, that's how they
probation.
usually do it. They jump to conclusions. They want to take away your
Yeah,
child, and that's the sad
yeah,
part about it. That's the sad part about it.
yeah, yeah. It's very sticky right now. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have about 7 minutes left. Is there something else you'd like to talk about?
No, thank you so much, and I will be sending that information to you soon.
Please do because I'll set you up. It's about a week to schedule in, but you'll be so thankful if you talk to you know, a real attorney that's trained and has fought CPS for 39 years. He's a trial attorney, so he's a kind man. He has his own live streams here too. He does like I do, and I try to get people to help him and so forth. So
That's great.
I'll look forward to that. And again, thank you. God bless. And don't be a stranger. You're welcome to come on this show. I'm on twice a day, 7 days a week. So some people are with me on
Thank
every
you. I
show.
meant to get on before. Okay,
Yeah.
I will. I meant to get on before, but I have completely forgot. It was a late night.
Well, I'm glad you did. And I'm glad that being a late night worked out good for you because normally I'm on 2 hours earlier, but I had a family commitment up. You see, it's hard for my kind of work. I do this twice a day. I've not missed a day yet, but sometimes I've adjusted the times. So that's the only thing I can do. But I am thoroughly committed to all of you that have a CPS case.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
I very much appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, God bless you, and you take good care of yourself. Okay.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Good night to you there. Okay. We just had Wishful Television on there, and she's a very sweet lady and had a terrible case there. And I'm so glad she called in. I'm so glad she called in. She's from North Carolina too. We have a lot of North Carolinas in tonight, which is great. And we have Olga Chernova, yeah, and her name is Ann, by the way. So I like Ann. That sounds good. And Candy Ken, you want to call in right now? Or you? Oh, you said I'd love to be on her show. I guess you want to be on KK Richardson's show. Okay, well that's all right. That's all right. I'm down to about 5 more minutes before I have to end my show. And if you guys want to send emojis, please do so. Hearts and thumbs up and smiley faces are appreciated. So is the stars. And please check below to follow me. And if you want to be notified when I'm on, check the notification button. But thank you, Wishful Television, and thank you. And I love that with the hearts and stuff. You guys are all great because I really want to help you. Now, there's 5 rules that I came up with real quickly. One, you need to hire a real attorney trained in juvenile law and family law. Now we got someone calling in. Good. Okay, we have someone just call in. Good evening. This is Bob Pace, and who do I have the pleasure of talking to?
Hi, it's me, Alexandra. I'm Candy Kane on YouTube.
Oh, okay, Candy Kane. There you are. I see you. And
Hi.
hi, Alexandra. And what can I do for you? What's the latest?
So, I just talked to you the other day. I did get my drug test results back, and everything was negative, of course.
Yay!
Yay! And yes, after 3 weeks of waiting.
Wow.
So now they want to come to my house again. So I just wanted to call in and see if you had any advice for.
Well, I would not answer the door. I would not talk to them unless I have my attorney present.
Okay. So my attorney is a court-appointed attorney, and I
Well,
talked to
then
her
you tell
earlier
them that
today.
if you want to speak to me, you got to see my court-appointed attorney. Apparently, my court-appointed attorney is hired by CPS, and they only work out of the
Yeah.
courtroom. They don't come to your house or their office. So you tell whoever's trying to pest you that you can talk to me in front of my court-appointed attorney. Because what you have to say has been in there, and you can say your court-appointed attorney told them to tell them that. But they're not gonna fight for you. I don't think. I think you're losing a hapless battle there. But I'm sorry about that. But make the court-appointed attorney work. Make him work.
Yeah, but she was like, "Well, you can call me, but I have hearings tomorrow," and I was like,
Well, then I'll come to your
I'm
hearing
gonna
tomorrow.
call you if they
I will
come.
come to your hearing tomorrow. Then we can talk at the hearing. They're going to be, that's the whole thing. These court-appointed attorneys are controlled by CPS, and they're kept with so many cases. They don't have time for anybody else's case. They easily have 30 clients or more, and they won't have time to get out. They usually only time they talk to you is when they're in court. So you say, fine, if you have a court hearing, great. What room are you in? I'll be there.
Yeah.
And if they won't fight for him, tell them that I will file a lawsuit for negligence, and I'll report you to the state bar for negligence. And believe me, that will sometimes get them to be a little bit more cooperative.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Because he was like, well, you have to let them in. If you don't do that, then it's going to look bad.
Well, if you don't hear the door, answer the door, how do they know you're home? How do they know you're home?
Cars are here.
Well, just because your cars are there, you could be out for a walk.
That's true.
You could be walking the dog, or you take an evening stroll, or look at the stars or anything like that. You could be taking a walk.
Yeah.
And what you can do with your cars is park them someplace else away from your home.
Yeah, I actually did do that the last time they came here because I just didn't want them to question me about them. One of my cars has a breathalyzer in it, so I just didn't want them to say anything.
Then don't talk to them. And the way to get out of it is tell them that you'll meet them with your attorney. My attorney says the only place you can meet her is at the courthouse in the hearing. So meet me in the hearing.
Yeah. Okay.
And if that court-appointed attorney doesn't want to do the job, say, fine, I'll get somebody else. You're fired. And I'll sue you for negligence.
Yeah.
And I'll turn you in to your bar, and your license will get revoked.
Yeah, because she's pretty much, because I have a court order that just says I will cooperate with CPS, but it doesn't specify anything. So just because of that court order, like, they think that I have to just do whatever they say, but that's a very broad order.
Yeah,
so
I agree with you on that.
If they tell me to just, if they tell me to, like, go run around naked in the street, I have to listen to them? Like, that's just the craziness. Well, it's just the idea that it's like, you just do whatever they say. Okay, well, that's not very specific. You have to say what it is that they want me to do.
Right. I just have Freeman that just said some comments that they hired the attorney who is CPS. Of course, they hired him, and you don't hire them, but you can fire them, though. You can fire them, and you're going to be labeled a tough client, but that's not a bad thing. So that's true. That's from Freeman, who's now on text and messages in there. But you know what? It's 10 o'clock. Not that I want to cut it short. I'd love to talk to you for longer. But can you call me in again tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock my time, Pacific time, or tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific time? Please, if you like to speak to an attorney, I'd like you to do 3 things for me. Would you like to speak to a real attorney, Mr. Davis?
Yeah, I actually did talk to him last week.
Well, you can talk to him again.
Oh, okay.
People that call
That's
in,
awesome.
people that are guests or call in, I give them the same thing again. You know the procedure. All you do is give me 3 things: your full name, your email, and your phone number, and I'll set it up again to have a private one-on-one. How did the conversation go with him? Was it good or not?
Yeah, so he asked me to find out if the drug test was actually a drug test or a drug screen, because he said that the screens are not admissible in court. So I guess I had both done, so the drug screen was done that day when I went into the probation office, and then they sent it in for the drug test. So the results that I just got back were the test, and they tested for like 75 different things, and everything was negative.
Oh,
so
okay.
that was one thing he said, was to find out whether it was a test or a screen.
Okay.
So it wasn't test, so that will be admissible, and it will help me.
Good. So it's worth it to call. To all you listeners out there, she was able to have Vincent help her with something. So that's not a bad call. And guess what? She gets to talk again. She gets to talk to Mr. Davis. In fact, to all of you, if you would call in or be a guest on my live stream, I can take 9 of you at one time. That would be great, because think of all the private meetings you can have with Mr. Davis to ask about all your legal questions. Okay. Well, I hate to say a bad news, but I do need to close down tonight. It's now 10 o'clock on the Pacific Coast here, Pacific Standard Time. I know it's 1 o'clock on the East Coast. And so 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1. That's right. It's 1 o'clock on the East Coast. And you're in North Carolina, right?
No, I'm in Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I forgot. Oh, yeah, I'll get it right here.
That's okay.
Yeah, so it's going on late there, but I am so glad you called in again. And you can call me a million times if you want. I'm here to help you. So you get a second crack at the apple here. Talk to Mr. Davis. For all you listeners out there, all you have to do is be on my show as a guest or call in. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. So anyway, keep fighting for your kids. Don't give up. And I will be talking to you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. God bless you, and don't give up on your children. Good night.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce him. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last one.